Happy Halloween, you beautiful people. Welcome to Halloween week. I'm Kenzie. I'm going to be your host and your artist. And today we're going to be drawing Beetlejuice. Let's jump right into it. Now, there's two different types of Beetlejuice movies that have already came out. One of them was the original, and this one came out in 1988. The other one was Beetlejuice, and it had just came out this year. It was in theaters not too long ago. If you guys haven't watched it, I definitely recommend it. I went and watched it with a coworker of mine and her daughters, and I actually think it might have been a kind of better than the first one. But that's just my opinion. But I'm not going to say any spoilers for you guys in case you haven't seen it, I promise. Okay, first, let's get into the first movie, talking about Beetlejuice, which is the original one, and this was directed by Tim Burton, which also does like Nightmare Before Christmas, and he's just famous for a lot of different animation movies that are Halloween, but not like super duper scary, if that makes sense, kind of like horror comedies in a way. The movie follows a recently deceased couple, Adam and Barbara Maitland, who find themselves haunting their home after a car accident. So they get in this car accident, right, and they end up haunting their home, and they use Beetlejuice. You say his name 3 times, he appears, causes a bunch of trouble. But anyway, they use Beetlejuice to try and get the new owners of the house out because they don't want him to be living in their house, right? Because they're living in it, but they're dead. So it's like they're living in it, but they're not living in it. It's a big whoop-de-daw. I don't understand the whole process behind that. I do, but like, you know. However, Beetlejuice does not have the spirit that these people think that he does. They think, oh, he's good. He's going to get these people out of my house. He's going to do great things. No. If any of you know anything about Beetlejuice, you would know that he is not the I'm gonna help you out and expect nothing in return kind of guy. He's the I want my stuff first and then you might get your stuff. I might help you if you help me first, and that is very, very, very slim chance that he's actually gonna help you. Ultimately, the couple has to find a way to protect their home and get the people to leave without Beetlejuice's help, because he doesn't really help, he just causes more problems. And I did go through and look up the top 3 reviews for the Beetlejuice series just because I was curious. Like, I wanted to know what people had to say about it. And if you keep watching these episodes, I'm going to be doing 2 of them a day, and at the end I'll be doing a big movie. But if you guys are watching these, you will realize that I'm doing these reviews for every single one just because I'm curious and I want to see what these people have to say about these famous movies. So let's jump right into the top 3 reviews for the Beetlejuice movie. And we're specifically sticking with the original and not Beetlejuice because I couldn't really find as much on that since it's done. The first one was Roger Ebert, which is with Chicago Sun-Times. Quote, Ebert praised the film for its originality and Tim Burton's unique visual style, calling it delightfully morbid comedy. He highlighted Michael Keaton's performance as Beetlejuice, describing it as both hilarious and frightening, capturing the character's chaotic energy perfectly. That is a very nice review. It's a very nice review. I like how I worded that. Review number 2 is from Janet Maslin, which is the New York Times. Most of you guys know they do a lot of reviews. They're really famous. They're really well known for reviewing movies, and their input usually has a lot of weight whenever it comes to how good a movie does and how many people go see it after the New York Times reviews it. But their review was, Janet noted the film's inventive blend of horror and humor, emphasizing its quirky and imaginative nature. She commended the performances, especially those of Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin as the Maitlands, which is the couple that was deceased and was in a car accident, and acknowledged how the film created a whimsical yet eerie atmosphere that was a signature to Burton's work. Which, like I said, he does Nightmare Before Christmas and those kind of movies where it's kind of like Halloween, but not very scary, but kind of funny, but kind of like weird, I guess you could say. The third review was from Variety, or Variety, one of the 2. It's one of the 2, pronounced one of the 2 ways. This review lauded Beetlejuice for its clever spirit and exceptional production design. The review remarked on a film's ability to balance dark themes with comedy, and it praised Keaton's portrayal of Beetlejuice as both outrageous and compelling, making the character memorable in cinematic history. I am going to talk a little bit about Beetlejuice. I'm not going to bring up any spoilers, but if you guys are wanting to watch the movie and you don't want to hear anything about it at all, you can go ahead and skip just a few seconds. It's not going to take you very long. The second movie, Beetlejuice, is where Lydia Dietz is now an adult and they follow her around her life, and this is her just dealing with the aftermath of how the first film went and ended. The film features the return of Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice and Winona Ryder as Lydia, with new characters and different plot twists. I'm gonna be honest, whenever I watched this, I was so confused for the first like 15 minutes because I hadn't seen Beetlejuice in so long. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then once I finally figured it out, I was like, oh, this movie ain't bad. Like, I'm less confused than I thought I was gonna be. The story does blend a bunch of comedy with supernatural elements where you travel to the undead station, I guess you could call it. We meet Bob. Bob is my favorite character of the whole entire movie, but it definitely blends comedy with Halloween, with spooky, with weird. So just kind of giving that Tim Burton vibe that everybody talks about. Also, if you guys see me like moving my hair around a lot, I got a new thing and it's not healing very well, and I'm trying to keep lotion on it and keep it moisturized so that way it doesn't get infected, but my hair keeps catching it, so I'm trying to keep my hair out of my way where I don't get it like in the lotion, because then that would not be fun. I've had that happen before and it's not a fun time. Now, we went over the two movies that Beetlejuice stars in, but who the heck is this crazy Beetlejuice guy with the mold and the crazy hair and the purple and white suit? Who is this guy? Like, who is he as a character? Well, Beetlejuice is played by Michael Keaton, which we kind of mentioned earlier. I mentioned his name, but I didn't explain really that he was played by him, I don't think. And Beetlejuice can be described as, quote, a chaotic and eccentric spirit known for his wild personality and mischievous antics. Beetlejuice obviously has a very distinct look where everybody that sees him can automatically tell, hey, that's Beetlejuice. Hey, that's Beetlejuice. Hey, that looks like Beetlejuice. Like, you can automatically tell because he has the greenish skin, he has the mold, he has the dirty teeth, he has the bright green crazy hair, he's got the suit, he's got everything, right? Everybody recognizes him. It's kind of like a disheveled appearance, but in like a I'm dead and I don't give a fuck. That's kind of his look, as to put it simply as possible. A lot of people that I know actually say that Beetlejuice is like, quote, crazy and stupid. Which, I mean, yeah, the movie kind of is crazy and stupid. But it's still funny. Like, it's still a Halloween movie. Like, I'm still gonna watch it. Like, I'm still gonna sit here and laugh. It's like watching a Halloween version of SpongeBob. Like, you never know. You're gonna get some stupid stuff. You're gonna get some stuff where it's like, well, how the fuck did they even come up with this? But, you know, there's movies like that out there and I'm still gonna watch them, no matter how dumb they are. But Beetlejuice, I gotta say, Beetlejuice is a good movie. Y'all can't prove me wrong on that. My mom doesn't like it. She didn't like Beetlejuice 2. And I told her, I was like, I don't know if I can be friends with you if you don't like Beetlejuice 2. Because yeah, it was stupid, but it was good. You gotta admit, it was good. A lot of people say that Beetlejuice isn't a scary movie, which technically is supposed to be what we're supposed to be going over with the Halloween movies. But I'm kind of just combining horror movies, slasher movies, anything with like a Halloween theme, vibe kind of going on. I'm just adding in all of those. So I'm adding in all my favorites, I'm adding in the classics. There are a few that I missed because I'm only doing 10, but I tried to get throughout as many genres as possible. Beetlejuice is definitely not meant to scare you. If it does, you are probably a child that should not be watching Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is not meant to scare you. It's supposed to make you laugh, and it's supposed to be like a scary, funny kind of thing. Are you guys wanting some Beetlejuice fun facts? It is time. It is time for me to be cringy for the next 3 minutes or so. I'm estimating. I don't know how long it's going to take. You ready? Let's get to it. The first fun fact for Beetlejuice is the title gags. The film's title character is named Beetlejuice, but if you say his name 3 times, he pops out of nowhere. Like, you could literally be in the attic of this house that is starred in, and you say Beetlejuice, 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 and he just appears. Like, smoke immediately appears. Which most people probably know that, but I just thought I'd add it in there for people who might not. Second, Michael Keaton's improv. Did you know that Michael Keaton actually improv'd a lot of his lines in Beetlejuice? I did not know that, but I figured it out the other day while I was doing research about Beetlejuice, because I know the plot line, like I watched the 2 movies, but I didn't know like the insides and like who played who. I really thought that was something behind me, but I'm just delusional. But it's like who played who, like I didn't know that kind of stuff. Like I knew who played Lydia because like my coworker that I used to work with was like obsessed with her, which I don't blame her. But number 3 on the fun fact list, I'm getting all crazy sidetracked, is unexpected inspiration. The original concept for the film was much darker, intended to be a horror movie about ghosts that were actually trying to scare away the living. So it was supposed to be an actual horror movie, and then it turned into a Tim Burton funny, not very scary Halloween movie. 4. Fun fact number 4. Ridiculous makeup. Literally, I was looking on the internet and I was like, let's see if I can find some fun facts about Beetlejuice, and one of the things that I found the most was just somebody just saying, ridiculous makeup. That was it. But I did some deep diving and I gave you a summary. So the character of Beetlejuice was actually designed to look grotesque, or homeless, as I usually say. With wild hair, outlandish makeup, craziness. I can't say much about makeup because I barely even wear it. This is the most makeup that I've worn in probably a year, give or take. Number 5 is the ghost clothes. So actually, if you look close enough, you will realize that the Maitlands, which are the ones that got in the car accident in the first movie and are trying to scare them away in the original, they never changed their clothes, which I thought was interesting, and I didn't even realize until I read about it. Like, I wouldn't have even thought to process that. But they keep the same clothes on because they're dead. They have no reason to change their clothes. So I just thought that was a fun little fact, you know, to add in there, spice it up a little bit, that they didn't change their clothes. 6 is cameos galore. Tim Burton has a cameo as one of the voices in the Day-O scene, where the characters sing in the afterlife. It's a fun nod to the film's playful tone and Burton's signature style, so if you watch the second one, I think the second one is where they did that. So what they did is they had like everybody singing, and like the terminal to go to like heaven or hell or wherever you were going, they had a big old dance party, and Lydia walked in and was like kind of like, what the hell is going on? And then like, you know, all that stuff happened. I'm gonna leave it there. And then a cartoon spinoff is the final fun fact. So I don't know if you guys knew this, you probably do, but there is actually a cartoon of Beetlejuice. So there's a TV series. And I didn't know this until literally 6 months ago, until I was told that there was a TV series. I'm like, you never told me there was a TV series for Beetlejuice whenever I could have been watching it this whole time? Really? Really, man? Well, yeah, I sound country as hell saying that, but I say it all the time, so we're gonna deal with it. But this is going to be the end of the Beetlejuice episode. I enjoyed talking about him with you guys while talking about him to myself, kind of. Happy Halloween, you beautiful human beings! I'm Kenzie, I'm your host and your artist, and this is the Halloween week special that I'm kind of doing for you guys. And today we are drawing Chucky from Child's Play. Let's jump to it. First, we're going to talk about the movie that Chucky starred in, or was the start of, I guess. The movie was called Child's Play, and it is originally from 1988, so that's whenever it was actually released. And I don't think Child's Play has any, like, new movies? At least I couldn't find any. The movie follows a single mother, Karen, who buys a doll named Chucky for her son. The son's name is Andy, by the way, before I forget to mention that. His name is Andy, like Toy Story. And after the toy is enchanted by a serial killer is when the mom buys it for him, which, you know, it's not gonna go well. But the toy actually has the serial killer Charles Lee Ray inside of it. Unbeknownst to Karen, Chucky is alive and actually possesses a murderous intent, just like the serial killer that he, like, is inhabited by, I guess you could say. He also wants to kill people, to put it simply. Strange occurrences suddenly start to go on in the house, like Chucky will move, something dangerous will almost happen, and then they finally realize that there is something wrong with this doll. Like, there is something wrong. Something's not right. It's not normal. Which, clearly. We already know that. They don't, but we already knew that something was not normal from the start. Suddenly, Chucky begins to target those around Andy. He never targets Andy in the beginning. He targets those who are around him, those who he's close with, his friends, family, all that kind of stuff. And it leads to a terrifying showdown at the end. I'm not going to say any more details just in case you haven't seen it yet. The movie is mostly famous for the fact of a doll turning into a murderous little thing. I'm going to say thing because I'm not sure if I can call a doll a human because technically it's not a human, but a human soul is inside of it. I don't know. It's a weird spiel thing. I don't know what to call it. Which, looking at the doll itself, like, how would you think that that's automatically innocent and that not anything sketchy is happening with that doll? Because it looks kind of freaky to me. Now, I'm not a doll person anyway. I used to be whenever I was little, except for the ones that like open and close their eyes by themselves. Those freak me out. But like now that I think about it, people who have like dolls all over in their room and stuff are like, you a little sketchy. These dolls are a little sketchy. And they scare the shit out of me whenever I see things. Like, I think I see something move. I'm like, what was that? What was that? And it, I don't know, it just stresses me out. Like, dolls are freaky, man. I don't know. I don't know how you think a doll is innocent looking whenever it looks like that. Anyways, I did go through and find the top 3 reviews for Chucky, which, if you watched the last video where we went over Beetlejuice, I had to think for a second. I literally just recorded it like 2 minutes before this one and I couldn't remember who we talked about. But if you guys watched that one, or if you're about to watch that one, I also did the 3 reviews on that one, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into that section for this. Review number 1 was from Roger Ebert. Again, he's going to be very popular in these videos. And that is with Chicago Sun-Times. Ebert praised Child's Play for its clever premise and effective mix of horror and dark humor. He highlighted the film's ability to invoke genuine fear from a seemingly innocent object. I think he meant like innocent, but it said innocent whenever I read the review, so one of the two. I think it means about the same thing. The innocent object, a doll, while also commending the performances, particularly that of Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky, which he found both chilling and entertaining. The next one is from New York Times. We also had a New York Times one in the last one, and it is from the same person, the Janet Maslin. And Maslin noted that Child's Play cleverly subverts expectations, transforming the concept of a child's toy into a source of terror. She appreciated the film's ability to create suspense and tension, describing it as both a thrilling horror film and a commentary on consumer culture, with Dourif's portrayal of Chucky adding to the film's overall impact. Neat. She worded that very nicely. Appreciate the words. Appreciate no words that I couldn't read. The next review is from Variety, which I think is the same one that we had before, where I couldn't say it right, because I spelled it wrong. It might have been the same one. This review lauded Child's Play for its inventive concept and engaging execution. The review emphasized the film's ability to blend scars with moments of dark humor, particularly in Chucky's interactions with his victims. The craftsmanship in the puppet work and effects was also highlighted as a key element that enhanced the film's unsettling atmosphere. He used a lot of describing words in that review. I really appreciate that because it's like, it can paint a picture in your head where like, if you're like, oh, it was a crazy doll, like you could think of anything, but like if you describe it in a certain way, you know what they're talking about. Like, you know it's Chucky. Now, who is Chucky? Most of y'all watching this probably know who Chucky is, but we're just going to go ahead and explain it for the people who might not, and because I'm drawing him, so I mean, we might as well talk about him, right? Chucky is the main antagonist of Child's Play, which we just went over the whole movie and the reviews and all that. Initially, he appears as a seemingly innocent doll, and it goes downhill from there, to put it simply. The reason that the serial killer is actually in Chucky is because he wanted to put his soul in Chucky to avoid death, escape death completely. He didn't want to die, so he became a 2-foot-tall doll. I think I might rather die, but that's just me. Chucky also has a very distinctive look, just like with Beetlejuice, just like with a lot of horror movie characters. They have their ways of looking where we automatically recognize who they are based on their characteristics. Chucky, his characteristics include things such as his bright orange hair, his rainbow-colored shirt, and his overalls, which assume that it's like an innocent child look kind of thing, but it ain't going on, and those beady blue eyes are giving me a little bit of the creeps. Now, the fun part, I get to be cringy, and you guys get to laugh at me being stupid. The Chucky fun facts. Are you ready? Are you ready? I know you're ready. Let's get it. Number 1 is voice actor's comedy roots. So Brad, the one who voices Chucky, we mentioned him a few minutes ago, is known for his serious acting roles. However, he did bring a surprising amount of humor to the character Chucky whenever he did play him, and his comedic timing actually turned the murderous doll into a cult favorite. Which Chucky was never my favorite. I didn't hate the movie, but it was kind of like where it's like, number 2 is the doll's height. I think this is really funny. I don't know why, but just picture a serial killer, right? Whoever the hell you want. Do you imagine that serial killer being 2 foot tall? Can you think of somebody trying to kill you that is 2 foot tall? Literally, this little tiny child-looking thing is trying to chase after you with a knife and kill you. That's what Chucky is. He's 2 foot tall. So he doesn't seem very scary until he gets into his, like, showing who he really is, like, getting into that kind of stuff, and then it's like, oh, this 2 foot tall of death. It's a little bit scarier than a normal 2 foot tall child. Number 3. Fun fact, number 3 is the doll's look. Chucky's design with his bright overalls and his striped shirt was originally intended to be cute and appealing to children. And it creates kind of like a dark comedic effect to where it's like, oh, this kid looks so fun and playful and colorful and innocent, but he actually kills people. He actually just wants to murder people all the time. That's kind of like the fun, dark humor to it. It's like, this thing looks like it's for children, but it wants to kill you. I don't know, I think it's funny. Because it's a movie, not because it's real life. If it was real life, then it wouldn't be funny, but... Number 4 is catchphrases. Chucky has several iconic catchphrases, some of which are unintentionally funny, just due to, like, the juxtaposition of that and his vibe. Lines like, "Hi, I'm Chucky, wanna play?" can be amusing more than terrifying, especially when delivered in this playful tone, until you realize that when he says, "Do you want to play?" it means, "Can I kill you?" Not "can I kill you," but more or less, "I'm gonna kill you." He doesn't really get a choice. Number 5, fun fact number 5, is Chucky versus other dolls. In a playful nod to his reputation, Chucky often references, like, the good dolls. He uses, like, the good dolls to compare himself. This adds kind of like a layer of satire to the horror genre of the whole movie. And then number 6 on the fun fact list is franchise evolution. Over the years, the Child's Play series has transitioned from pure horror to a mix of horror and comedy. Particularly in films like Bride of Chucky, there's a lot of different Child's Plays, like spin-offs and remakes, but there's no, like, actual, like, following one besides Bride of Chucky. I haven't seen that one yet, but I heard it was really dumb. But this makes me kind of want to watch it. Happy Halloween, you beautiful people. Welcome to the Halloween special week with Procreate. I'm Kenzie, your host and artist, and we're going to be drawing Freddy Krueger today. Now, let's start out with the movie. As I'm sure most of you guys already know, Freddy Krueger is from the movie Nightmare on Elm Street, which was released in 1984. Let's get to talking about it. The movie Nightmare on Elm Street is a horror film directed by Wes Craven that introduces the iconic character Freddy Krueger. The story revolves around a group of teenagers in the fictional Elm Street who are plagued by terrifying nightmares featuring a disfigured killer with a bladed glove. As the teens begin to die in their sleep, one of the main characters, Nancy Thompson, discovers that Freddy is a vengeful... As the teens begin to die in their sleep, one of the main characters, Nancy Thompson, discovers that Freddy is the vengeful spirit of a child murderer who was killed by the parents of Elm Street. He now seeks revenge by invading the dreams of their children. Nancy must confront her fears and find a way to pull Freddy into the real world to stop him once and for all. Now, we're going to go over the top 3 reviews for the movie Nightmare on Elm Street. I've been doing this for every episode, and the first review we have is Roger Ebert, again from Chicago Sun-Times. I'm pretty sure he's been in all of these. Ebert praised the film for its innovative concept and effective blend of horror and psychological tension. He highlighted Freddy Krueger's terrifying character, noting how the film taps into the primal fear of not being safe even in sleep. Ebert appreciated the film's ability to create suspense and its impact on the slasher genre, calling it a memorable entry in horror cinema. Number 2 is the New York Times with Janet Maslin again. Maslin lauded A Nightmare on Elm Street for its originality and the way it reinvigorated the horror game. She emphasized Wes Craven's clever direction and the film's ability to explore deeper themes of guilt and trauma, particularly through its young characters. The review noted that the film's surreal dream sequences and Krueger's menacing presence contributing to its lasting legacy. Review number 3 is from Variety. This review praised the film for its creative storytelling and strong performances, particularly that of Heather Langenkamp as Nancy. It highlighted the film's atmospheric tension and memorable special effects, noting that it's cleverly subverted traditional slasher conventions. The review acknowledged Freddy Krueger's iconic status, cementing the film's influence on subsequent horror films. Now, who is Freddy Krueger exactly? Well, he's characterized by his burned and disfigured face, wearing a tattered red and green striped sweater and a wide-brimmed hat. His most distinctive feature is his glove, equipped with sharp blades on the fingers, which he used to attack his victims in their dreams. Freddy is a vengeful spirit of a child murderer who was killed by the parents of Elm Street, and he seeks revenge by haunting and killing their children in their nightmares. He is known for his sadistic sense of humor, often taunting his victims before attacking. Freddy embodies the fear of the unknown and the idea that even sleep, a necessary refuge, can become a source of terror. His blend of supernatural abilities and psychological manipulation makes him a unique and enduring figure in the horror cinema. Now let's get ready for some Freddy Krueger fun facts. You ready? Let's go for it. Number 1 is Freddy's fashion statement. Freddy's iconic striped sweater was chosen because the colors red and green clash so much that they can be unsettling to look at. So he's not just a killer, he's also a trendsetter in horror. 2 is Glove of Many Talents. Freddy's signature glove with its sharp blades is not just for scaring people, it has become a symbol of horror as well. Imagine Freddy at a dinner party using his glove to slice a cake. Let's talk about a killer dessert. I know that was cringy, but I thought it was funny. You can laugh at me, it's okay. 3 is quippy comebacks. Freddy is known for his one-liners and dark humor. Lines like, "Welcome to primetime, bitch," are so memorable that you could almost picture him as a stand-up comedian if he weren't busy haunting you in your dreams, of course. 4 is dream job. In Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, there's a scene where Freddy has a family and a backstory. Can you imagine him sitting down for family dinner reminiscing about his dream job while the kids roll their eyes? 5 is mischievous mascot. Freddy has been parodied in various TV shows and films, including a memorable appearance in The Simpsons. This has turned him into a bit of a pop culture icon. Who knew a horror villain could have such a good sense of humor? Number 6 is dreadfully funny. While Freddy is certainly a terrifying figure, his character's ridiculousness in certain scenes can make him more comical. For instance, seeing him in goofy situations, like being interrupted while trying to take a nap, just adds a humorous twist to his menace. Well, y'all, our time for this episode has come to an end. I enjoyed talking about Freddy Krueger with you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what your favorite Halloween movie is. Stay safe for Halloween, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay spooky, artist. Bye. Happy Halloween, you beautiful people. I'm Kenzie, I'm your host and your artist, and welcome to Halloween Week with Procreate, and today we are going to be drawing Ghostface from Scream. Let's jump to it. Now, the character Ghostface, as most of you probably know, is from the movie Scream. Or the 4,000 movie Screams. Or the 4,000 movies of Scream. Either works. This is a whole series dedicated to a character with a total of 7 different movies. These included the years of 1996, 1997, 2000, 2011, 2022, 2023, and I guess one that's supposed to be released in 2026, but I never heard about it, so congratulations to me, because I just found out a new Scream's coming out in 2 years. However, I'm only going to be going over the first 2 movies in this episode. We're not going to go over the other 4 bajillion. Starting out with the first Scream movie, 1996. The movie was directed by Wes Craven, and it is considered to be a meta-horror film that revitalized the slasher genre. The story follows high school student Sidney Prescott, who becomes the target of a mass killer known as Ghostface, which is who we're drawing today, Mr. Ghostface. Probably one of my favorite horror movies, even though it's probably one of the stupidest ones that I've seen. But it's just, Ghostface has my heart. When it comes to scary characters, Ghostface has my heart. As the killer begins to murder Sidney's friends, Sydney and her friends must navigate the rules of horror movies to survive. So Ghostface kind of goes off of other horror So Ghostface kind of goes off of other horror movies, and he calls him up and he's like, hey, is your fridge working? Cool, do you want to play a game? If you get any of these wrong, I'm gonna fucking kill you. In a nice way, of course. He asks about a bunch of horror movies. What's your favorite movie? Blah, blah, blah. When it comes to movie number 2, it came out in 97, and the sequel is set 2 years after the event of the first film. It follows Sydney again as she starts college, trying to move on from the trauma in her past with all the Ghostface shit, you know, the obvious stuff. However, a new series of murder begins, mirroring the events of the original film on her college campus instead this time. Sydney, along with her friends, must once again confront the Ghostface killer, while also dealing with the media frenzy and the pressure of being a survivor from the first film. As the body count rises, not that kind of body count, I see what you thought of, not that kind of body count. How many people he's killed, okay? That kind of body count, just so you know. As the body count rises, leading to unexpected twists and shocking revelations about the killer's identity. Woo! Now, I did find the top reviews for the Scream movies. I cannot talk today, guys. It's bad. Anytime I try to record, I cannot talk. I looked up the top 3 reviews for the Scream movies, and this mostly includes like the original ones, but it also includes like the rest of the series as well. So the other 4 bajillion movies. Number 1 is from Robert Ebert. Again, Chicago Sun-Times. Ebert praised the original Scream for its self-aware horror and clever deconstruction of slasher film tropes. He noted that the film revitalized the horror. Every time I try to speak, guys, all the time. He noted that the film revitalized the horror genre by combining suspense with a sharp, witty script. Ebert appreciated how the characters discussed horror movie cliches while still falling victim to them, making it both a tribute and a critic. Number 2 was The Guardian for the second review. And they said, this review highlighted Scream as a groundbreaking film that breathed new life into the horror genre in the 1990s. The reviewer commended the film's meta-narrative. Wow. Okay. The reviewer commended the film's meta-narrative, which allowed it to play with audience expectations. The performances, particularly by Neve Campbell and Drew Barrymore, were also noted as strong contributions to the film's effectiveness. Number 3, the third review, is from Variety. This review praised Scream for its innovative blend of horror and comedy, emphasizing its impact on the genre. The film's sharp dialogue with memorable characters were highlighted, along with the direction by Wes Craven, which skillfully built tension while allowing for moments of levity. The review acknowledged the franchise's ability to evolve with each installment while maintaining its core themes. Now, who is Ghostface? Right, we went over the Scream movies, we know that like he calls people and he kills people with a knife and blah blah blah. But who is he? Ghostface is the iconic mask killer from Scream, obviously, what we just talked about, right? The character is characterized by a distinctive white mask with exaggerated features, including hollow eyes and a gaping mouth, which is supposed to invoke a sense of dread and anonymity. I definitely did not say that right, but I hope you guys know what I mean. Like being anonymous, I don't know how to... Anonymity? Something like that? I don't know, it's close enough. You guys know what I mean. The killer typically wears a black robe with jagged edges, adding to the menacing appearance. Ghostface is known for using a cell phone to communicate with his victims, often taunting them before launching an attack. Like what I said, like, is your refrigerator working? Do you want to play a game? What's your favorite scary movie? Blah, blah, blah. Those were his go-tos. This character embodies the essence of slasher film tropes while also subverting them, often referencing horror movies and their roles through usually the phone calls. Or he gives you an option to not die the way that a character did in a horror movie that you've already seen, and you fail, and you die. It's usually how it goes too. Throughout the franchise, multiple individuals don the Ghostface persona, each with their own motives and backstories. So there's been quite a few people playing Scream before, playing Ghostface on Scream. Ghostface's blend of horror and dark humor has solidified his status as a pop culture icon in the horror genre. In case you were wondering why I added the call me part on the photo, it's because he used to call his victims, like I said. I just thought it was funny, and it'd be a little something extra, kind of personalize it a little bit, you know, where it's not just Ghostface. Let's get ready for some Ghostface fun facts. You ready for me to be cringy? Let's go. Number 1 is mask shenanigans. I get my dog. Yeah, I can't talk today. The iconic Ghostface mask is so recognizable that it's often worn as a Halloween costume, which I've worn this mask for a band marching meet before, where I was in band throughout high school. I played percussion. So our band leader for the drums was one of my really close friends at the time, and he was like, hey, we're all gonna wear masks whenever we're doing a marching. I almost tripped on my face like 4 times, but one year it was a Ghostface mask, and I do remember that, and I hadn't watched the Scream movies yet, so I was like, what the fuck is this? I lived under a rock. I lived under a rock as a child. I swear. With the movies that I hadn't seen, the TV shows I hadn't seen, the things I didn't know about, I could have lived under a rock. Number 2 is phone calls gone wrong. Ghostface is known for making creepy phone calls, but can you imagine if he accidentally called the wrong number? Is your refrigerator running? Because if it is, you better catch it before it kills again. So funny. You can laugh at me. I know I'm cringy. It's fine. Number 3 is comedic references. The Scream series is famous for its self-aware humor, and Ghostface often resembles and references classic horror movie tropes. It's like he's a horror movie critic who decided to take matters into his own hands. Literally. Number 4 is Ghostface running skills. Despite being a killer, Ghostface is not exactly the most athletic. You can't help but laugh at some of the scenes where he trips or stumbles while chasing his victims. I thought it was funny, but I can't say much because I can't run with this shit either. I don't run. I will go to the gym and work out all day long. I will lift weights. I will walk. I will do Stairmaster. I don't care, but I will not run. And if I'm running, you better run too, because something's chasing me. And even depending on what it is, I might still not run because it's running. But, you know, if you've seen any of the Scream movies, you know what I'm talking about, where he trips and falls while he's trying to chase people or something like that, or he runs into something, or that'd be me. That'd be me as a serial killer, to put it simply. If I was playing as Ghostface, that would definitely be me, where I'd just be like running into random shit and I'd be like tripping and making a fool of myself. It's just how it would go. I could guarantee it. I'd put $10 on it. Well, y'all, our time for this episode has sadly come to an end. However, I do have more out if you guys haven't seen those, so be sure to check those out in the meantime. Anyway, that is the end of the Ghostface episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I enjoyed talking about Ghostface and Scream with you guys. Happy Halloween, you beautiful people. Welcome to the Halloween week special with Procreate. I'm Kenzie, your host and artist, and we're going to be drawing The Nightmare Before Christmas today, also known as Jack Skellington and Sally. Also, I apologize for not having my face in these next couple ones. I completely forgot that I hadn't recorded these yet, and it is like super late Sunday night. It's supposed to be posted Monday, so I apologize, but I want to make sure that I get them out to you guys, so these next two, this one and the next one, won't have my face, and the rest of them will, I promise. Now, I know there might be a bit of questioning on why I'm doing this movie on a Halloween series, and I know there's Christmas in the title, but hear me out. Nightmare Before Christmas is more of a Halloween movie in my eyes, because I talk about Halloween more, right? Jack Skellington, he's a skeleton, like, this is Halloween, all the songs and everything. It's a Halloween movie to me, and a Christmas movie at the same time. So let's jump right into it, and today we're going to be drawing Jack and Sally, like I mentioned. Let's talk a little bit about the movie first off. So The Nightmare Before Christmas was directed by Henry Selick and produced by Tim Burton, and it follows Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town. Tired of the same old Halloween routine, Jack stumbles upon Christmas Town and becomes enchanted by the joy and festivities of Christmas. He's eager to bring this new holiday to his own town, and he decides to take over Christmas, but his attempts lead to a chaotic and humorous result. Jack enlists the help of his ghoulish friends to deliver Halloween-themed gifts, which terrify the children instead of delighting them. As Christmas approaches, Jack realizes the importance of the holiday and the true meaning of joy. With the help of Sally, a kind-hearted rag doll who loves him, he must save Christmas from disaster. The film is celebrated for its unique stop-motion animation, memorable songs, and a blend of dark fantasy and whimsy, making it a beloved holiday classic for both Halloween and Christmas. I also have the top 3 reviews for the Nightmare Before Christmas movie, which, if you guys have seen the other ones, I've been doing the top 3 reviews for every episode just to kind of like get a glimpse on what people think of these movies, like the big wigs, I guess, of the film review industry, you could call them. Number 1 is Roger Ebert. He's been on almost every single one, if not every one of them, and he's from Chicago Sun-Times. Ebert praised the film for its imaginative storytelling and stunning stop-motion animation. He admired Tim Burton's unique visual style and the blend of horror and whimsy, noting how it beautifully captures the essence of both Halloween and Christmas. Ebert emphasized the film's ability to resonate with audiences of all ages, calling it a delightful celebration of creativity. Next up is the New York Times and Janet Maslin, which we've heard from her quite a bit too. Maslin lauded the film's enchanting visuals and catchy musical numbers, highlighting how they contribute to its charm. She appreciated the character of Jack Skellington, noting his journey of self-discovery and longing for something beyond his Halloween identity. Maslin called it a magical and bittersweet tale, celebrating its innovative approach to storytelling. Number 3, we have Variety. This review commended The Nightmare Before Christmas for its artistic achievement in animation and music. The review praised Danny Elfman's score and songs, which added depth to the characters and story. It noted that the film's whimsical yet dark atmosphere makes it a standout in the animation genre, establishing it as a classic that appeals to both children and adults. Now, who is Jack Skellington? Jack Skellington, known as the Pumpkin King, is the main character in The Nightmare Before Christmas. He's very tall with a skeletal figure and a distinctive pinstripe suit and a charismatic yet melancholic demeanor. Jack is known for his love of Halloween and his leadership role in Halloween Town, where he orchestrates the annual festivities. Despite his spooky exterior, Jack is a dreamer who yearns for something more than the traditional Halloween routine. His discovery of Christmas Town inspires him to embrace the spirit of Christmas, leading to both humorous and poignant moments. Jack is characterized by his expressive personality, creativity, and longing for connection, making him a complex and relatable figure. His journey reflects themes of self-discovery and the importance of embracing one's true identity. And when it comes to Sally, Sally is a key character in The Nightmare Before Christmas. Known for her delicate and kind-hearted nature, she's a ragdoll created by the mad scientist Dr. Finkelstein, and has patchwork skin, red hair, and expressive blue eyes. Despite her creation and the restrictions placed upon her, Sally possesses a strong sense of independence and a deep longing for freedom. Sally is insightful and compassionate, often showing concern for Jack Skellington's well-being as he pursues his fascination with Christmas. She has a dreamlike quality symbolizing hope and creativity, and often expresses her feelings through song. Her character embodies themes of love, resilience, and the struggle of self-identity, making her a beloved figure in the film as well. Sally's unwavering support for Jack and her determination to follow her own desires highlight her strength and depth. There's honestly a lot of really cool things about The Nightmare Before Christmas. A lot of people think it's just a kid's movie, but if you actually watch it and pay attention, there's so much character development, and the characters are always so relatable in their life story and just the way that they're told, and you could see them kind of transform throughout the movie to who they really want to be rather than what they were. I don't know, the character development is really good in Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, let's get ready for some Nightmare Before Christmas fun facts. You ready? Let's get it. Tim Burton's technically not the director. While many think Tim Burton directed the film, it was actually Henry Selick. Burton wrote the story and produced it, but Selick brought the vision to life, proving that the world of animation is full of surprises. Number 2 is stop-motion shenanigans. The film took over 3 years to make, with each character being moved just a tiny bit for each frame. Imagine how many coffee breaks the animators must have taken while working on these tiny movements. That would drive me crazy. That'd be insane to do picture frame movements for a whole entire movie that was as long as Jack Skellington, and it turned out so good I wouldn't have even imagined that that's what it was. Number 3 is Jack's dance moves. Jack Skellington's iconic Halloween dance was choreographed by animators who used a real person in a skeleton costume as a reference. 4 is Elf on the Shelf inspiration. The film features a mischievous Santa Claus who is a bit of a chaotic vibe. You could say he's more like a festive version of the Elf on the Shelf, except with more spooky flair. 5 is Pumpkin King with a sweet tooth. In one scene, Jack tries to explain Christmas to the residents of Halloween Town, and they take everything literally. This leads to some hilarious misguided interpretation, like trying to use Halloween-style scares for Christmas. 6 is voice acting fun. Danny Elfman not only composed the music, but also provided the singing voice for Jack. However, he had to balance singing with his acting, which must have led to some amusing moments in the recording studio. 7, merchandising madness. The film has spawned countless merchandise items, including action figures, plush toys, and even holiday decorations. It's hard to believe Jack Skellington's face can be found on everything from pajamas to Christmas ornaments. Honestly, I think you could find anything with Jack Skellington's face on it. Well, y'all, our time for this episode has come to an end. I enjoyed talking about The Nightmare Before Christmas with you guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what your favorite Halloween movie is. Happy Halloween, you beautiful people. I'm Kenzie, your host and artist, and welcome to Halloween Week with Procreate. Today we're going to be drawing Michael Myers. Let's get to it. As most of you probably know, Michael Myers is from the movie Halloween. So we're going to be talking about the movie first, and then we'll get into him as a character. The original Halloween was released in 1978, and it has 13 movies in total with Michael Myers, which is literally crazy. Craziness. Never thought that a movie would have 13 different movies besides, like, Scream. However, let's stick to talking about the original one from 1978 because, in my opinion, that's the most important one. So, let's get to it. The original Halloween was directed by John Carpenter and follows the story of Michael Myers, a disturbed teenager who, after murdering his sister, is committed to a mental... We're starting off early today with not being able to talk. Is committed to a mental institution. 15 years later, he escapes and returns to his hometown of Haddonfield on Halloween night. Michael begins stalking high school student Laurie Strode and her friends, leading to a series of terrifying encounters. Bum, bum, bum. As the night unfolds, Laurie realizes she is being hunted by a masked killer. With the help of Dr. Loomis, her friend's fate unfolds in gruesome ways, culminating in a suspenseful showdown. The film is renowned for its chilling atmosphere, iconic music score, and the introduction of Michael Myers as a quintessential horror villain, establishing many tropes that would define of the slasher genre. So this movie is a horror slasher film, is what it's most commonly called, since, you know, it's slashing people, kind of gets the slasher theme going. I also have the top 3 reviews for this movie. If you've seen the other episodes or anything, you've been realizing that I've been doing top 3 reviews for everything just to kind of get a look at what the main people, like the main movie reporters, think of the movies, because, I don't know, I'm curious. So for the movie of Halloween, it's mostly the original, but it is some with the series, like in general. Number 1 is Roger Ebert from Chicago Sun-Times. We've had him literally every single episode, I believe. I don't think there's been one without him. Ebert praised the original Halloween for its suspenseful direction by John Carpenter and its ability to create a chilling atmosphere. He highlighted the film's minimalist approach, particularly the use of music and lightning to build tension. Ebert noted that Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, became a strong final girl, showcasing resilience against the relentless Michael Myers. Number 2 is The New York Times with Janet Maslin. Again, we've seen her a lot. I don't think she's been in every single one, but if she hasn't been, she's close to every single one. Maslin emphasized the groundbreaking nature of the original Halloween, noting how it is set for the standard for slasher films that followed. She praised Carpenter's direction and the ability to invoke fear through its simple yet effective storytelling. Maslin acknowledged the film's lasting influence on the horror genre and its role in shaping the final girl trope. Number 3 is Variety. Again, these top 3 usually have the same exact people. Variety we've seen a few times. This review lauded Halloween for its innovative cinematography and effective use of suspense. It praised Carpenter's ability to craft a sense of dread throughout the film, with Michael Myers becoming an iconic figure in horror. The review also noted how subsequent films in the series expanded on the original's legacy, though opinions varied on the effectiveness of the later installments. Now, who is Michael Myers exactly? While Michael Myers is the central antagonist of the Halloween franchise and is known for his iconic expressionless white mask, along with his blue jumpsuit and brutal methods of killing. His character is defined by his overwhelming silence and emotionless demeanor, which adds to his chilling presence. If you watch the Michael Myers movie, he never talks. Ever. Like, he does not say one single word, and I think that makes it even creepier that he doesn't talk. Originally introduced as a disturbed child who murders his sister, Michael grows into a relentless and nearly supernatural force of evil. He exhibits superhuman strength and resilience, often surviving injuries that would incapacitate ordinary people. His motivations are largely unexplained, contributing to his enigmatic and terrifying persona. I don't know why I wrote all these facts down and I put in words that I know how to use and I know how to read, but saying them is a struggle. Some of these words, I look at them and I'm like, I know what this word is, I just don't know how I'm supposed to say it. You ever had that happen where you'll write a paper or something and you'll be like, oh, I know all these words, but then if you have to read it, it's I thought I knew them. I knew what they mean, they work, but trying to say them is not going well. Michael embodies the archetype of a slasher villain, representing unrelenting horror and the fear of the unknown. His haunting presence and methodical approach to stalking his victims have made him a legendary figure in horror cinema. Now, let's get ready for some fun facts about Michael Myers. You ready? Let's get it. Number 1 is silent but deadly. Michael is known for his silence. Like I said, he doesn't ever talk. He doesn't make any noise besides stepping on leaves or something like that. Imagine how much simpler conversations would be if everyone followed his lead. No awkward small talk, just pure stalking. Pure stalking, and that's it. No words, no communication, no nothing, just walking and following you, not saying a word, not saying a noise. That'd be creepy as hell. No thank you. Red flag, red flag. Number 2 is mask madness. Michael's iconic mask was originally a modified Captain Kirk mask from Star Trek, which I did not know until I read about him. Picture him putting on and thinking, this will really freak people out. Talk about an unexpected Halloween costume. Number 3 is walking speed. Despite his supernatural strength and intentions, Michael has a famously slow, steady walk. Which, honestly, serial killers you would think would run after their victims if they're running, but Michael just walks, steady pace. I've never seen somebody walk as steady of a pace as Michael does in his movies, because he never runs after them, he just walks, and he always catches up to them every single time. It's they could be running full speed and he's still gonna catch up to you just walking. He must take really big steps or something. Number 5 is sibling rivalry. I cannot say this word. I had rivalry. That's how you say it. I had rivalry, the word, in the last episode that I, one of the other ones, and I could not say it to save my life. It took me 4 times to actually say it right. The original plot twist about Michael being Laurie Strode's brother added drama, but it also opens up a comedic idea of sibling rivalry. You can imagine family dinners where things get a bit tense. 6 is costume change. Michael's jumpsuit is pretty iconic, but it's also surprisingly practical. He's just a guy who likes to dress for success just in case he needs to blend in while hunting down his next target. Which, I mean, he's not wearing anything crazy, but you can still, if you're described Michael Myers, you can still tell, who he is just by them saying blue jumpsuit, white mask, scary serial killer that walks and doesn't say anything. You automatically know who you're talking about, right? Number 7 is hiding skills. Michael Myers is a master of hiding, often appearing suddenly behind characters. Imagine him at hide and seek. He'd definitely win every time. I would not want to play hide and seek with this man. I'm not even good at hide and seek, but if I was good, I'd still probably lose because I swear he's the master of hide and seek whenever it comes to finding people. Well, y'all, our time for this episode has come to an end. I enjoyed talking about Michael Myers with you guys and Halloween and talking about him walking and stalking and not saying anything to people, being all creepy. Happy Halloween, you beautiful people. Welcome to the Halloween week special of Procreate. I'm Kenzie, your host and artist, and today we're going to be drawing Pennywise. Let's jump to it. As most of you probably know, Pennywise was derived from the movies It, the first one releasing in 1990, and a remake one showing up in 2017, and then It 2, or It Chapter 2, released in 2019. Let's jump into talking about the 2017 one first. It 1 or the remake from 2017, is a horror film based on Stephen King's novel, focusing on a group of children in the town of Derry, Maine during the summer of 1989. The story follows the Losers Club, a group of misfit kids who confront their fears and personal struggles as they face an ancient evil that takes the form of Pennywise the Clown. As children in Derry begin to disappear, the Losers Club realizes that Pennywise preys on their deepest fears, using those fears to terrorize them. United by their friendship and determination, they band together to confront the entity. The film combines coming-of-age themes with horror, showcasing the power of courage and unity in the face of evil. Bill Skarsgård's portrayal of Pennywise received widespread acclaim, making the character a memorable figure in modern horror. Probably said his last name wrong, I'm sorry. Honestly, I think It Chapter 2 is better than It Chapter 1 in my opinion. I watched the original one and I also watched the 2017 one. I think that the 2017 one explains it better than the 1991 just because they've had so much more time to like remake it and like make it make more sense. So personally, I'd probably say It Chapter 2 was my favorite, and then It Chapter 1 from 2017, and then the original. As for It Chapter 2, the sequel continues the story of the Losers Club from the 2017 film, set 27 years after their first encounter with Pennywise the Clown in Derry, Maine. As adults, the members of the group receive a call to return to their hometown after a series of mysterious disappearances signal that Pennywise has returned. The film follows their individual journeys as they confront their past traumas and fears that Pennywise exploits. As they reunite, they reminisce about their childhood and the bond that strengthened them against evil. The climax involves a final confrontation with Pennywise, requiring them to face both their inner demons and the monstrous entity that terrorized them as children. So there's your summary for It Chapter... So there's just a quick summary of It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2. I also have the top 3 reviews for the It movies. Most of these are from the original movie, but some of them also are from the second one, or like the movies, all 3 of the movies in general. And we actually don't have Chicago Sun-Times in this one. The first episode without him in it. But number 1 is the New York Times with Ben Kenningsberg. I probably said that last name wrong. This video highlighted the film's exploration of adult fears and trauma, connecting it to the experiences of the characters as they return to Derry. It praised the film's horror elements and visuals, but noted that some of the scares felt repetitive compared to the first film. The review emphasized the strong chemistry among the adult cast. So this one was about It Chapter 2. Review number 2 is from Variety. We've seen a lot of them too. This review commended It Chapter 2 for its ambitious scope and emotional weight. It noted that while the film faced challenges in pacing and storytelling, it effectively delivered intense scares and showcased the strong bond between the characters. Bill Skarsgård's return as Pennywise was also highlighted, reinforcing the character's menacing presence. I honestly don't think It Chapter 2 would have been as good if they had somebody else playing Pennywise, so I'm very happy that he went back on there and played on It Chapter 2. Review number 3 is from The Guardian. This review lauded the film for its ability to blend humor and horror effectively. It praised the nostalgic 1980s setting and the strong performances from the child actors, particularly Finn Wolfhard and Sophia Lillis. The film was recognized for its emotional weight and tension, making it a standout adaptation of Stephen King's novel. I gotta say, I love reading, but I have not read it from Stephen King just simply because I've already seen the movies and I don't know, I love Stephen King, don't get me wrong, but like his books, I would much rather read other books and like watch his movies because I get so much more scared like watching a movie than I do reading a scary book, but that's just me. But if you guys have read the It books, let me know down below and let me know if they're really good, because if you say that they're really good, I might have to read them. Now, who is Pennywise exactly? Pennywise is a shape-shifting entity that primarily takes the form of a clown, using this guise to lure and manipulate children in the town of Derry, Maine. In his clown form, Pennywise has a striking appearance, a white face with exaggerated features, bright red hair, and a colorful, old-fashioned clown suit. His wide, unsettling grin with sharp teeth enhance his menacing presence. While he often appears playful and charming, this facade masks his true, malevolent nature. I cannot speak today. Pennywise embodies the fears and insecurities of his victims, manipulating their nightmares and drawing power from their terror. He is a representation of childhood fears and trauma, making him a complex and terrifying figure in horror. His ability to instill dread, combined with his cunning and sadistic tendencies, has made him an iconic character in horror, literature, and film. Honestly, whenever I watched the first It, I was terrified of clowns as a kid. And that movie scared me so much because, you know, I hated clowns, and like I still do, but I'm not as like scared of them now as I was before. And so whenever I first watched that, it was like the first clown movie that I've ever watched, and it scared me so much. I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. But then I watched It Chapter 2 and I was fine, so it was like, eh. Pennywise is mostly known for his quotes of "You'll float too" and his scene of taking Georgie, trying to convince him to go into the sewer with him after Georgie loses his boat in there. It was not a real boat, it was one of those like paper boats. But he's definitely known for the red balloons, "You'll float too," being in the sewer. Hiya, Georgie! I can't really do a good impression, but that's me trying. But I also saw this TikTok the other day where it was like Pennywise trying to scare modern college kids. And it was like, he was like, "Do you need your vape?" And I don't know, it was so funny. If I still had it, I'd link it below because it was a great video for Pennywise. But if you look up Pennywise on TikTok, I'm sure you'd find it. It's just some dude dressed as a clown just making jokes about college kids and their vapes. And guys like, "Hey, did you know that I saw so-and-so like across the campus?" And the girl's like, "He's not supposed to be there. I knew he was cheating on me, blah, blah, blah." Just that kind of stuff. Like, there's so many like funny Pennywise impressions on TikTok. Like, I've seen so many lately because it's Halloween, but I definitely recommend looking up Pennywise and seeing if you could find that video because it is so hilarious. Now, let's get ready for some Pennywise fun facts. Let's get it. Number 1 is balloon business. Pennywise is known for his red balloons, but can you imagine him as a balloon artist at a children's party? Here's a balloon animal. Pops it right in front of you because it's Pennywise. Or, "Come on, I'll give you this balloon animal if you come in the sewer. You'll float too." Number 2 is creepy clown persona. While Pennywise is meant to be scary, he is also a classic clown. Picture him slipping on a banana peel. That's all I have to say. Just picture it. Be hilarious. He's so much funner than being scared because Pennywise looks creepy. Number 3 is dancing skills. In the 2017 film, there's a scene where Pennywise dances. It's hard to take him seriously when you imagine him doing the Macarena at a dance-off, trying to outshine the competition. Imagine Pennywise trying to go to a dance-off and trying to like beat people at dancing. That'd be so funny. I can just imagine it in my head. It'd be hilarious. They need to make a whole entire movie about Pennywise just being stupid. Just Pennywise bloopers. Totally watch that. Or a YouTube video about it. Number 4 is rhyme time. Pennywise loves to speak in rhymes, which gives him a whimsical twist, which, I mean, he's a clown, so it makes sense. I mean, clowns and rhymes kind of would go together. You can almost hear him saying, "I'll float and haunt and rhyme a lot. Would you like a friendly scare or not?" Well, y'all, our time for this episode has come to an end. I've enjoyed talking about Pennywise with you guys. Happy Halloween, you beautiful people. I'm Kenzie, I'm your host and your artist, and welcome to Halloween week with Procreate. Today we're going to be drawing, drumroll please, The Nun. Let's jump right into it. Now, I watched The Nun by myself in the dark for the first time that I watched it. Do not recommend. I already don't like nuns, and watching that movie scared the shit out of me. I'm not even gonna lie, like, I was so scared. I was like, this is not fun. Like, I didn't realize it was gonna be this scary. Like, Autopsy of Jane Doe, it's kind of like that, where you don't realize it's gonna be scary and then it scares the shit out of you. Yeah, don't recommend doing what I did. However, it is one of the horror movie classics that everybody knows about, so therefore we're going to be drawing The Nun today. Now, let's start by getting a little bit of knowledge in with the actual movie. So the movie The Nun started back in 2018. The movie is a horror film that serves as a prequel to the Conjuring series, which is a very famous series If you guys haven't seen any of the Conjuring movies, I would be surprised if you guys are horror movie fans because they are very, very popular. I have, I think, watched all of them and they are very good, so I recommend if you haven't seen them. But it is set in 1952 in Romania. Fancy, fancy. And it follows Sister Irene and Father Burke as they investigate a mysterious suicide of a nun at a remote abbey. So like a remote area kind of thing. Upon their arrival, they find a bunch of supernatural forces, like really dark forces, like giving creepy vibes, like get out of here kind of thing. Not like, come in, oh, I have tea. But like, get the fuck out of my space, bro. Like, I will kill you kind of thing. And here is where they uncover the presence of Valak. I think I'm saying that right. But Valak is the character from The Nun that is actually the nun that we're drawing today. So, her name's Valak. Keep that in mind because we're going to be talking about her, just her name instead of just saying the nun, so remember that. And she is a demonic entity that is transformed into being in the body of a nun, surprisingly, because that makes sense. As they delve deeper into the Abbey's secrets, they face terrifying challenges that test their faith and their courage and their commitment to being researchers on supernatural, because some of the stuff that they've seen in that movie, I would have been like, no thank you. I think I'm done. I don't want to do this no more. Also, I'm sorry if you hear my dog barking in the background. He's freaking psychotic. He will see a leaf because it's fall and he will run through and chase it through the yard and bark at it. So just ignore that if you do hear the barking. I'm not sure if he will or not, but the movie uncovers a lot of good and evil tactics. That's kind of their way of taking the horror movie, is good and evil, or good versus evil. And The Conjuring, like I said, was one of my favorite series, so I didn't even realize that The Nun was attached to it until I read about it earlier, and I'm like, oh. So that's why it scared me, because the Conjuring series didn't really, like, scare me, but it still kind of creeped me out a little bit, so it makes sense that it's connected. I don't know how I didn't know that, being a horror fan geek, but, you know. I also have the top 3 reviews here for... I cannot speak today. I have the top 3 reviews here for The Nun. If you saw the other 2 videos, or if you saw one of them or whatever, I do top 3 reviews on each of the movies just to kind of get a little summary that way too, see what people have to say about them. So here are the top 3 reviews. Number 1 is RogerEbert.com. This review I cannot talk. This review critiqued The Nun for relying heavily on jump scares and familiar horror tropes, stating that while it offers some visually striking moments, it ultimately lacks substance and depth. The review acknowledged the strong performance of Demian Bichir and the atmospheric cinematography, but felt the plot was predictable and underdeveloped. Okay, we're starting off with a negative one. We haven't had a negative one in the past 2 videos, so we gotta spice it up a little bit. These are the top 3, so I just read whatever they were. Whether they were good or bad, I put them in there. Number 2 is Variety. Variety praised The Nun for its gothic atmosphere and effective horror elements, highlighting its strong production design and cinematography. The review noted that while the film may not break new ground in the genre, it delivers chills and has a compelling sense of dread, particularly through its exploration of the demon Valak. Number 3 was The Hollywood Reporter. We have not heard from them yet, but this is what they had to say about it. This review recognized the film's ability to build suspense and its striking visuals. It emphasized the performances of Tessa Farmiga and Demian Bichir. I'm sorry if I said either of those names wrong. I probably did. It's fine. Anyway, I apologize. Who brought emotional depth to their roles. However, it pointed out that the plot could feel thin and that some character motivations were lacking. So there are some bad reviews about The Nun. Some big people wrote bad reviews about The Nun. They had good things in there, but it was also like, hey, like this could use work, like this could use work. A lot of it was character development, as I can see, as from what I read with the reviews anyway, a lot of it was character development. Now, who is the nun exactly? We mentioned that her name was Valak, but we never kind of went through any of the other details. But Valak is a powerful and malevolent demon in the Conjuring universe. And in the movie, she appears as a dark, eerie figure dressed in a traditional nun's like outfit with a hauntingly pale face and strikingly black circles around her eyes and kind of around her mouth area too, as we'll be drawing in there as well, with the kind of like gravelly stone falling apart kind of look. Valak is most known for being capable for instilling fear and manipulation tactics whenever it comes to its victims. I'm going to call it an it or a her, as one of the two. And throughout the film, she embodies the embodiment of evil. Like, she is pure evil, challenging the protagonist's faith and resolve. So they have to work really hard to be able to beat her. There's like really no way, if you have any sort of feeling that your faith is not going to hold up, she's gonna use that against you and you're gonna go bye-bye. Like, there's no stopping her after that. Now, let's get ready for some Valak fun facts. My favorite part of the video. Time to be cringy. You ready? Let's get it. Number 1 is the dramatic entrance. Valak makes quite the entrance in The Nun, but in real life, the character's design was based on a 19th century painting of a demon. So you could say Valak has some seriously historical flair, adding a comical twist to its terrifying presence. 2 is priest and a nun walk into a bar. I just wanted to add some funny stuff in here, so just ignore my stupidity. Valak is known for her ominous and serious demeanor, but the idea of a nun facing off against a demon is almost like a setup for a joke, right? Like a nun facing a demon that's in her body. Whenever a nun is supposed to be the embodiment of faith, a demon is the opposite. It works. It's as if the plot were saying, what if a priest and a nun teamed up to confront their worst fears? Crickets. Nothing but crickets. Number 3 is costume changes. The iconic look of Valak features a habit and a striking headdress, but imagine if Valak had a wardrobe malfunction or showed up in something casual like a Hawaiian shirt. Like, can you imagine a nun just showing up in a Hawaiian shirt? I think that'd be hilarious. They should make a movie about that. They should. There's my topic proposal to whoever. Now, where did the name Valak come from? Valak comes from demonology, but it's a bit of a mouthful. Can you imagine a demon introducing itself in a friendly voice? Hi, I'm Valak, but my friends call me Val. Suddenly it's not scary anymore. I don't know. You guys can laugh at me. I thought it was funny. Number 5 is chasing ghosts. In the film, Valak's primary goal is to haunt and scare the characters, but the concept of a ghost trying to find a friend in a nun is almost comedic. Because like I said, that's like opposites. Like opposite, like nun and ghost and demon, and none of that's supposed to go together. None of it's supposed to flow in the same body, right? Well, yeah, our time for this episode has come to an end. I enjoyed talking with you guys about the nun and Valak and how creepy nuns are and how none of this movie makes sense because it's literally opposites being in the same body. Anyway, be sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below your favorite Halloween movie or your favorite scary movie or any single scary movie in general. I need some opinions on what I should watch next. I'm running out of ideas here, people. Like, I need some new good scary movies. I'm a horror movie girl and I cannot find anything that I haven't watched or that's in a different language or that's not any good. I'm just not looking in the right places, I guess. But let me know your suggestions down below because I would love to watch them. Anyway, have a good Halloween. Stay safe. And I will see you next time, artists. Bye.